The Atlanta Falcons are making a massive mistake. In 2016, the Atlanta Falcons were the biggest surprise team in the NFL, in a campaign spearheaded by second-year head coach Dan Quinn, superstar offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan, and league MVP quarterback Matt Ryan. The Falcons rose up to an 11-5 record and the second seed in the NFC. In the playoffs, the Falcons eased their way past the Seattle Seahawks in the divisional round and completely blew the doors off the injury-riddled Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game to advance to their second Super Bowl in team history. In Super Bowl 51, the Falcons were in position to do the unthinkable. They were in position to take down the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick New England Patriots empire. But as we all know, the NFL stands for not for long.
Toss to White. He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl!
The Falcons have never recovered from this moment. They have only made the playoffs once, which was in the 2017 season, since that fateful evening. Although the Falcons were able to beat the Los Angeles Rams in the wildcard round, they were then eliminated by the eventual Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles the following week. Following a pair of playoff-less 7-9 seasons in 2018 and 2019, the Falcons started off the 2020 season with an 0-5 record. Owner Arthur Blank knew what he had to do, firing Quinn as well as general manager Thomas Dimitroff, signaling the beginning of a complete rebuild in Atlanta. The Falcons went just 24-29 under Dan Quinn following Super Bowl 51. In the 2021 offseason, the Falcons went out and hired a new general manager in Terry Fontenot, as well as a new head coach in Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. Under Smith, the Titans boasted one of the NFL's best offenses, led by the league's best running back in Derrick Henry, as well as a career resurgence from quarterback Ryan Tannehill. That same offseason, the Falcons also traded away franchise wide receiver Julio Jones to Smith's former team, the Titans, in exchange for second and fourth round draft picks in 2021. The Falcons selected Jones in the first round of the 2011 draft out of Alabama, and he quickly established himself as one of the best receivers in the NFL, with 10 touchdown receptions in just his second season. His on-field chemistry with Matt Ryan was also quite evident. In 2015, Jones had a career season, hauling in 136 catches for 1,871 yards and 8 touchdowns. He recorded over 1,000 yards in 6 straight seasons from 2014 to 2019 and has made 7 Pro Bowls and 5 All-Pro lists. Jones struggled in his lone season with the Titans and, ironically enough, is now catching passes from Tom Brady with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Falcons went 7-10 in the first year of the Arthur Smith era, and after the team made an offseason push to acquire Deshaun Watson from the Houston Texans, it became clear that the Matt Ryan era was coming to an end in Atlanta. The Falcons eventually shipped Ryan off to the Indianapolis Colts in exchange for a 2022 third-round draft pick. In doing this, the Falcons took on the largest dead salary cap hit in NFL history with just over $40 million. Unfortunately for Matty Ice, things don't seem to be faring better for him in Indy. Following the Matt Ryan trade, the Falcons needed a quarterback, so in free agency, they went out and signed Marcus Mariota, someone who Arthur Smith is quite familiar with. Mariota was a highly touted prospect coming out of the University of Oregon and was selected second overall in the 2015 draft by the Tennessee Titans. Although Mariota did play pretty well during his tenure with the Titans and helped lead the team to a playoff appearance in 2017, questions still remained as to if he was the long-term answer at quarterback. Eventually, the Titans determined that the answer was no. And 6 games into the 2019 season, he was benched in favor of Ryan Tannehill. Once Tannehill took over, the Titans' offense began to flourish, and the team made it all the way to the AFC Championship game in 2019. Mariota then spent the following 2 seasons as a backup to Derek Carr with the Las Vegas Raiders before choosing to reunite with his former offensive coordinator in Atlanta for the 2022 season. And almost immediately, Mariota was named the Week 1 starting quarterback for the Falcons. Despite Mariota being named the starter, the Falcons knew that it wasn't likely that he was their long-term franchise quarterback, so they selected former Cincinnati Bearcat quarterback Desmond Ridder in the 3rd round of the 2022 draft. Ridder was viewed as a raw but very talented quarterback coming out of college, and surprisingly was the 2nd quarterback off the board in 2022, behind only Kenny Pickett. Through the first 10 games of the 2022 season, the Falcons find themselves sitting at 4-6 and right in the thick of the playoff picture, mostly due to their division, the NFC South, being ass cheeks. Their defense has been, well, awful, but the main reason that the Falcons have been so competitive has been their 6th best rushing attack in the league in terms of yards per carry. Although their starting running back Cordero Patterson has dealt with some injuries, the Falcons have gotten nice production out of young running backs Tyler Algier and Caleb Huntley. On top of that, Patterson is now healthy and back in the fold, and Marcus Mariota has also been a contributor in the run game. The main struggles for the Falcons have come in their passing game. Mariota has played decent, but he is far from the reason why the Falcons are winning games. In 10 starts, Mariota is completing 62% of his passes for 1,747 yards with 12 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. He has also fumbled 5 times, losing 2 of them. With 9 turnovers in 10 games, ball security has become a big issue for Mariota. The Falcons are also having a hard time effectively distributing the ball to their pass catchers, despite taking weapons in the 1st round of the past 2 drafts. In 2021, the Falcons selected tight end Kyle Pitts out of Florida 4th overall, and in 2022 they drafted wide receiver Drake London out of USC. London has had a decent rookie season with 62 catches for 407 yards and 3 touchdowns, but the main issue has been with Kyle Pitts, who was the highest drafted tight end in NFL history. Despite being listed as a tight end, Pitts is a multi-dimensional player who you can actually line up at wide receiver, where he is a matchup nightmare, especially against smaller DBs. Pitts is 6'6", 247 pounds, and runs with 4.4 speed. He has the tools to be a lethal weapon, and it almost feels that the Falcons don't know how to use him. In 9 games, Pitts has caught just 25 balls for 313 yards and 2 touchdowns. He is frequently asked to block in this Arthur Smith West Coast offense, and that just isn't his play style. Between Arthur Smith's play calling, Mariota's inconsistencies, as well as Pitts' own inconsistencies, he has completely failed to live up to his expectations in Atlanta. The Falcons have lost 4 of their last 6 games, and it has become pretty clear that this passing attack is going to remain stagnant as long as Marcus Mariota is at the helm. It's time to give Desmond Ridder a shot. Due to the overall lack of talent on the roster, it's going to be pretty likely that the Falcons will have a high draft pick. Because of this, the Falcons need to see what they have in Ridder in order to determine if quarterback will be a high priority in 2023. He is very physically gifted, and with a floundering offense, now is as good of time as any to play the rookie. The Falcons, however, don't see things that way. When recently asked about the team's quarterback situation and if they were considering a quarterback change, Arthur Smith had this to say.
Any update on the quarterback situation or the plan to play Ridder?
That was never a situation, ever. I don't know where that those are. Again, I mean, you understand why the questions get asked. You lose 2 games in 5 days, and everybody wants to panic. We're right in the middle of it, not where we want to be, but the reality is you're right in the middle of a playoff race with a conference opponent coming in here and a game we need to win.
Although Smith understands the frustration from fans and media alike, he strongly believes that Mariota gives him the best chance to win and is strongly sticking by his guy. In my opinion, this is a huge mistake. The Falcons are still in the middle of a rebuild and are still in the process of tearing the old foundation down and laying the bricks for the new one. If the team continues to trot out Marcus Mariota at quarterback, they will only be destining themselves for more mediocrity. By playing Desmond Ridder, the team will be answering the critical question if he could be the team's next franchise quarterback and heir to Matt Ryan. Now, we are left wondering if the stubbornness of Arthur Smith will prevent that from happening.